Did you guys know we recently hit 1,000 subscribers here on YouTube? Well, we'd actually be at more like 6,000 if the 85% of you returning viewers actually hit the subscribe button. You scroll down just a little bit and there's going to be a subscribe button for you guys right here. You can even hit like on the video or share it with your friends too while you're down there. And our description box down below also has links to all of the different socials I have. And the best part is you can even leave a comment telling me how much you enjoyed the video, or didn't. I don't care, it's your life. Subscribing doesn't take anything but that 1 second of time, and it really helps make sure that you don't miss any of my uploads. So if you are enjoying watching all of my content, it helps you out, and it helps me out. Now that you've done that, let's get back to the video. What is up, guys? Ninja Nick back with another round of the Japan Champions League. Looks like this is a Lugia versus Lost Box match. We are going to go for the Artisan, starting first for the Lost Box player. Both of these players 12-1 in round 5. Very respectable records. Only having taken one loss the entire tournament so far between days 1 and 2. And we'll have to see if that streak continues for both of these players, because there are no ties and this is best of 1. So we will see one of these players take the 13th win and one of these players take their second loss. So we are seeing a little bit of prize checking going on here by going through that deck multiple times. So we are going to find a Comfey off of this Artisan. We will be able to use our flower selecting as soon as we can get that Comfey into the active position. So we are going to escape rope, get that Comfey there, flower select, look at the top 2 cards of the deck. We're going to lost zone the Psychic Energy. But we would really like to see maybe a Battle VIP pass in order to get more Comfey in play. But no, just an attach and pass. That's not very good here. You always want to get to 4 cards in the loss, or as close to 4 cards in the loss zone as possible turn 1, and then try to get to 10 turn 2, or at least 7 by turn 2. Sometimes you can just get a turn 1 Why did they have 2 decks? I was gonna say, they split their deck in half and kept looking through each deck, each half individually. It was very odd to me. And it looks like they have the block Snorlax, right? Is that what that does? I gotta look this up. I don't even remember. Actually, I should go use this scan website. Gonna get that Snorlax into the active spot with a Jet Energy and then research, it looks like, away a hand. Hopefully we will be getting to our... there are some cute looking Snorlax cards. Yes, it is blocked. So as long as it's in the active spot, your opponent's active Pokemon cannot retreat. And then its attack does 150 for 4 colorless, and this Pokemon is now asleep. So I think Unfazed Fat is still better against Lost Box, personally. The Thumping Snore one, because you do 180, which knocks out like Luminion and stuff in other matchups. Yeah, the 150 is just so small. But it can, I mean, if you're playing like 3 Snorlax in the deck or something, I could see a reason for going 2 Unfazed Fat and 1 block would actually be not too bad. And we do see that the other Snorlax that is on the bench is actually the Unfazed Fat one, even though they're both in very similar laying positions, which is kind of funny. So yeah, this Comfey will not be able to retreat. You will have to go for exclusively switching cards. If you are able to find an escape rope, you will still be able to retreat. But yeah, that's a little bit rough. We are going to see a Spiritomb is down here on the bench now as well. That will shut off the abilities of basic Pokemon V. So it's going to stop our opponent from being able to use Luminion in order to stop any more of those Archeops coming into the discard pile potentially. It looks like there is at least 1 Archeops in the discard pile right now. It looks like just a pass. That is a pretty pathetic. That is a 4 cards in the Lost Zone turn 2. Lost Box deck with a Cramorant on the bench, not even being able to attack into the Snorlax that has 150 HP. Would not even be a knockout. Wait, there's a single strike Snorlax? Huh. 120 and 30 to itself. That's awful. I didn't realize there was a single strike Snorlax. That's kind of funny. What is this one? Never seen this one. Scarlet and Violet promo Snorlax Voraciousness? Oh, that's the Pokemon, the 151 one. Okay, never mind. I have seen that before. It has a full art though. So it looks like we are going to use our Archeops that we were able to get out by using a Summoning Star. Only getting out the one Archeops, but I mean, with how bad your opponent is drawing right now, that's all you need to do. Getting rid of that Comfey, making sure your opponent can't retreat, and being able to have that therapy energy on it from this Archeops allows it to not fall asleep from its own attack. So Collapse says this Pokemon is now asleep, but therapy energy heals and prevents status conditions like that. So this Snorlax will be staying awake, and it's very out of character for Snorlax to stay awake. He is a big sleepy boy. He's got a full tummy. All he does is eat and sleep. So we're going to see a Jet Energy, going to be able to bring this Comfey into the active spot. And we also see an Escape Rope is in hand, so we could actually see another Comfey come into the active spot now, forcing this Snorlax out of the active and being able to retreat. But we've already attached an energy for turn, so it feels a little bit counterintuitive here to be able to have your retreater be the one that's already on the bench. And it is going to force up the other Snorlax that cannot be affected by things such as Sableye. And it looks like this is Goodra Lost Box. So that would make sense as to why this deck is bricking, because Goodra does tend to do that. The Goodra deck doesn't even play that many Mirage Gates. Usually it only plays like 3. Hello, Sunny. Did you want to come say hi? My kitty just entered the building. Hello. She just came into the bedroom. Want to come up? Come on. Say hi to everybody. Oh, you're just gonna go on my lap, like under the... Okay. You can see her tail. She's just gonna curl up on my lap. Okay. That's right, you purr. So what do we do if we're this? So we just pass into this Lugia. The Lugia is just going to be able to use another ability of this one Archeops. Only getting one energy into play is kind of hilarious, honestly. But since it is the therapy energy, that makes sense. Maybe you didn't have that in hand to attach for turn, so you're going to attach for turn elsewhere. And that is the gift energy going down to the Lugia V-Star. And we will be able to hit for 180 to this active Goodra now that we bossed up. This Goodra does not want to be in the active spot. You always want to keep your Goodra on the bench until such a time that it is fully set up and ready to go as a V-Star and swinging in. Because it does take 80 less damage if it uses its Rolling Iron attack as the V-Star. But usually you do not want to use the attack of the regular Goodra V. Because it only reduces like 20 or 30, I believe. I think it's like 30. Sunny, are you being cute over there? You're a good kitty. She tried to come on my lap and she's like, this isn't comfortable enough. Walks away. So, Colorless' experiment coming out here for the Lost Box player. Are we going to be able to get to a Goodra V-Star at any point? I'm not quite sure because our only Goodra in play is heavily damaged. Even if we evolve to the Goodra V-Star here, like the -80, yeah, even if we evolved and attacked with this thing this turn. Like, yeah, we take a knockout, but that other Snorlax just comes up and finishes you off, basically. Or no, does it? A 7, you would do 70 damage after the reduction. You have 180 on you, that's 250. You would actually live with 10, I want to say. Doesn't Goodra have like 260? Or no, Goodra has 270. Yeah, you'd live on like 20. So yeah, you'd have to be hit by the Lugia V-Star, but yeah, you still would go down. Sunny, go on your tree. Go on your tree. Dingus. So we do see one Mirage Gate is going to get a metal energy, I want to say that's in the metal, as well as a water energy. That could have been a psychic. It's hard to tell because of the color on it. But then we're going to attach return. This does force out our V-Star power, so we are going to be able to get some mileage out of this Goodra here. Almost forgot that the Goodra has that V-Star power. The V-Star power allows you to fully heal it once per game. So getting a pretty good use out of that, but the opponent, of course, bossing it up early to try to get either through the Goodra before it has the chance to use its V-Star power, or what. But it would have been really great to also have like a boss's orders, like you attack with the Goodra, but then also knock out the Archeops would have been fantastic, because then your opponent has to attach for turn each turn from hand. And it's really hard to just do that every turn with Lugia, because it doesn't really get you very far. Like, you can do it, but like Lugia needs 4 energy cards in order to attack. And yeah, you can get there 1 turn faster with a double turbo, but it still doesn't get you too far, so. And if this was not colorless Lugia and this was single strike Lugia, it would have an even easier time getting around the Goodra, just because you would have the option of single strike energy to single strike crush with your Tyranitar. And we do see here is the boss's orders getting rid of the Archeops, and now we're going to have a problem setting up any other additional attackers for the rest of the game. So we're going to have to hard attach to this Lugia V-Star, and we probably will never be able to attack with the Snorlax. Either that, or we can attach to the Snorlax and maybe not attack with the Lugia V that's on the bench. And we're just going to hit in again with the Lugia V-Star a second time, and this Goodra V-Star is still living, so getting a lot of mileage out of Goodra V-Star here. Very surprisingly, in all honesty. I was not expecting this Goodra deck to have such legs to stand on in this game. Sometimes they have to play things like Melanie to even get set up. Oh, my cat's gonna sleep on the bed now. Is it bath time, Sonny? Okay. There, I'll go like this so you can see the cat. Everybody only cares about the cat, right? So the Goodra does hit into the Lugia V-Star, does do quite a bit of damage, but not enough to take it out in one hit. And this Snorlax is now going to switch in by attaching a Jet Energy, which is very unfortunate because that does put it into the active, but that's also another attach for turn. So that's one less card you can be putting onto that other Lugia in order to potentially get another attacker powered up. So I almost think maybe you could have retreated that Lugia V-Star into the... I guess not, because no matter where you attach the Jet Energy, that Pokemon's always going to get forced into the active, right? So yeah, I guess it's correct to do it that way, because then you can still attack with the Lugia V-Star later. But again, this is that block Snorlax, so we will not be able to see a retreat here from this Comfey. And this block Snorlax is actually putting in quite a lot of work here. I can see why this player is 12-1. If they had enough Lost Box decks this block Snorlax might have actually come in pretty clutch. Having both block and unfazed Fat at the same time. Research coming out, discarding quite a lot of resources there. Getting rid of the Mew EX, getting rid of Illuminion. Mew EX is always great because if your opponent had something like Radiant Greninja on the bench, you could actually boss that up and then use genome hacking of the Mew EX to copy Moonlight Shuriken and then knock out 2 of your opponent's bench Pokemon simultaneously. Which is one of my favorite things to do. I've put Mew EX in my Gardevoir EX deck. It's definitely going in my Lugia deck once I figure out the list. I don't know if I want to do Colorless or if I want to stick with Single Strike. I think Colorless is just more consistent, right? So we are going to use the Capturing Aroma to get a Lugia that we just discard with an Ultra Ball, and getting rid of the Mesagosa as well. Not giving our opponent the option to find any basic or any Pokemon from their deck. Not going to give them any amount of help. Their discard pile is pretty messy right now. I'd like to see them straighten that up just because. Yet another Ultra Ball. I think that's a Professor Burnett as well as an Archeops that's getting rid of here in order to go for the Lugia V-Star. That way we can evolve this Lugia V on the bench into another Lugia V-Star. And we are going to take the knockout on the active. It looks like they didn't actually evolve that. They just searched it out of the deck and took the knockout and kind of forgot the step of evolving into it. I think they definitely should have done that because, of course, now that's a boss's orders. I mean, I guess if you were in like in an American tournament, you could, since it's already on top of the Lugia V, you could, it would be argued that the intent was to just evolve it. But in Japan, they're a little bit more stringent. They want to see the card go from the Ultra Ball to the hand and then from the hand to the board. So if it just goes from the deck to the board, it didn't evolve because it never touched the hand. Like, it's a bit of a nuance with the rulings that they have there that I've noticed. And this player on the left might actually get a little bit punished for it. And it looks like we are just going to see a Lost Mine will take the knockout on that Lugia V-Star that already has all of those damage counters on it. Doing a full 120 just to that. Now we're going to see the evolution to the Lugia V-Star. And both players are at 2 prize cards remaining. There is 11 cards in the Lost Zone for this player on the right, so they were able to use that Sableye, but unfortunately it is just going to go down to that Snorlax. And now what do we do for a response here? We do have this we do have this Zacian, and the Zacian will be able to take the knockout because it does do additional damage, doing a full 220 damage if one of your Pokemon was knocked out in the last turn. We'll be able to knock out the Snorlax, and then the Lugia will not be able to attack because they haven't been able to attach to it at all. There are at least 2 energy cards, 1 double turbo and 1 of any other energy in order to attack with it. So this could give the Lost Box player the time that they need in order to take this game. Gonna just take the knockout here. The Lugia will not be able to attack, and then all you need is a boss's orders on this next turn in order to take the game. Or actually, no, because the Snorlax is too powerful, has too much HP. And if you're not getting knocked out, then you're only hitting for like 100 or something. I think it's like 100 plus 120 if your Pokemon was knocked out last turn. Or it's 120 plus, I can never remember. So, gonna Great Ball, find Lugia off the top 7. Gonna have to shuffle our deck here. And yeah, what do you do here besides just hope that you find Double Turbo exactly on the next turn? You attach Jet Energy to your active, so that doesn't actually switch your Pokemon. It only switches a benched Pokemon it's attached to into the active spot. It doesn't switch out an active Pokemon to the bench. And my cat is still giving herself a bath. She thinks she is delicious. We're going to see a boss's orders to bring up the Spiritomb and a pass. So we could actually just see a retreat in order to attack with that Zamazenta again. But this is getting to be a peculiar situation. I think if you have the boss's orders, bring up the Snorlax, because it has a very hefty 4 retreat cost, and your opponent doesn't have an Archeops to use. So, had our player on the left actually gotten double Archeops out, they definitely would have won this game very easily, but they are in a situation to lose now that they don't have that. Oh, and we have just Escape Rope anyway. That's even better than the boss's orders, because you get to still play any other supporter for turn if you really wanted to. Can't play that Greninja on the bench because of the collapsed stadium that is currently in play, but it is fine. Because that, and yeah, okay, yeah, so it is 100 plus 120 if one of your Pokemon was knocked out for the Zamazenta. Just gonna hit for 100 on the Snorlax, and now we have to hope that we do not have some sort of switch card as well as a double turbo from the Lugia player. Sunny, are you delicious? Yeah. And yeah, it looks like that was it. Just a pass off to the opponent, and they just attack with the Zamazenta yet again to finish off the 2-shot on this Snorlax and take the game. So as always, guys, do not forget to comment, like, and subscribe and all that good stuff. We will see you all next time for another round of the Japan Champions League for 151 format.